What if what you feel in your heart isn't just a simple feeling? What if it's a message from Allah Himself? There are thoughts you can't control, shivers that return every time you think of that person. You pray, you try to forget, but your heart insists. Not loudly, but with a strange gentleness. What if these signs aren't trivial? Many miss out on their soulmate, not because they don't exist, but because they haven't recognized the signs Allah is sending them. Today, we're going to delve into these signals that your heart may be picking up on without understanding. Discreet, spiritual, powerful signs. And if you feel these things, Allah could well be showing you that this is them, that this is Him, that your soulmate is already here, and that your heart has begun to respond before you even realize it. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear might make you say, Subhanallah. That's exactly what I feel. 1. The sudden softness of the heart, an unexplainable calm. There are things the heart understands long before the mind can name them. It's neither logical nor explicable. It's an inner whisper, a silent calm that settles in without striking. You think of this person, and suddenly, everything becomes lighter. Your mind no longer struggles. Your thoughts don't overflow. There's an unusual stability, an invisible yet real presence. You don't know where it comes from, but you feel that your heart has found a place where it can finally rest. And this rest, it's not just an absence of pain, it's a presence of peace. This feeling is what we call sakinah, a serenity that doesn't come from the world, nor from people, but directly from Allah. It is He who places it in the hearts of His servants when something is aligned with their destiny. Sakinah is not simple tranquility. It is a sign. It is a sacred breath, a wordless message. You don't need spectacular signs when your heart tastes this calm, because your fitra, your pure nature, the one Allah gave you at birth, recognizes what is meant for you even before you can explain it. And this calm never lies. When Allah unites two souls, chaos is not born. It is stability. It is not a frantic race. It is a peaceful march toward a common goal. You don't need to force, to run, to beg for attention. You don't even need to understand everything. For your heart whispers to you, stay, listen, observe. And in that silence, there is an answer. It's easy to confuse excitement with alignment. Many chase intense emotions, thinking they prove the rightness of a connection. But that's not always the case. A true connection, one planted by Allah, doesn't burn you. It refreshes you. It doesn't agitate you. It roots you. It doesn't make you lose your peace. It deepens it. Perhaps he or she doesn't make you feel butterflies in your stomach, but rather an anchor, as if your life finds a backbone, an axis, a clear direction, as if Allah gently, silently, is saying to you, you no longer need to search. I have placed this person here and see how your heart reacts. It's not passion, it's recognition, familiarity, a soul recognizing another, not in appearances nor in seductive words, but in silence, in simple gestures, in a presence that is not intrusive, but deeply reassuring. There is immense wisdom in this sakina, because it never comes without a reason. If Allah grants you this calm through a relationship or an encounter, it is not a coincidence. It is perhaps an invitation to no longer run away, to no longer doubt, to place your heart where He has guided it. But to recognize this peace, one must be at peace with oneself. A troubled heart, agitated by its passions, risks not seeing this gift. It risks confusing it with boredom, because peace can seem too simple for those accustomed to instability. Yet, it is in this simplicity that the deepest truth lies. Allah never acts randomly. He guides sincere hearts. And when a connection brings more calm than chaos, more clarity than confusion, then perhaps it's not just a coincidence. Perhaps it's a sign, a divine confirmation that your soul has crossed paths with the one Allah has long prepared for you. So ask yourself this question. When you think of this person, does your heart struggle or rest? Because sometimes it's not missing that speaks. It's the silent recognition of a heart that has found peace. 2. Du'as that turn into providential encounters. You were alone, perhaps a little tired of bad intentions, of relationships without roots, of paths that lead to walls. And that day, in a surge of sincerity that only Allah can truly hear, you raised your hands. You didn't give a complicated speech. You spoke from the heart. You said something like, "Oh Allah, give me someone who brings you closer to me, someone sincere, someone who sees me with the eyes of the soul, not just those of the world." Then you put your hands back and life resumed. Nothing changed in the moment. No sudden light, no visible miracle. But what you didn't know was that at the very moment your tongue formulated those words, something had been written in the invisible, an encounter, a crossroads, a connection. Days pass, maybe even weeks. You forget this dua, but Allah, He does not forget. And then one day, without warning, you run into someone. A glance, a brief exchange, a banal conversation. And yet, something catches your eye. You don't know why, but this person intrigues you. Unlike the others, he or she doesn't shine any brighter than the others. But there's a gentleness, a sincerity in their aura, a strange familiarity, almost like a déjà vu of the soul. You let it pass. You continue with your life, and it comes back. Not necessarily in the same circumstances, but it comes back. Once, twice. By chance? Number, because at that level, they are no longer coincidences. They are answers, discrete manifestations of a dua that you may have forgotten, but that the heavens have engraved. This is how Allah sometimes responds. Not with outbursts, not with voices descending from the heavens, but with providential encounters. Souls appearing at just the right moment. Paths crossing when nothing else could explain it. Subtle repetitions that your heart begins to notice. Why does this person always come back into my life? It's not magic, nor is it mere chance. It's a silent response. For Allah hears what you don't even say out loud. And when He decides to answer your prayers, He sometimes does so in the sweetest way. Not to surprise you, but to teach you. To remind you that even prayers said in exhaustion, even words whispered through tears, are heard by the one who never sleeps. This kind of encounter is different. She doesn't make much noise, but she leaves an imprint. She doesn't turn everything upside down, but she aligns you. And over time, you realize that this person embodies things you had precisely asked for. Modesty, wisdom, respect, depth. But also this strange feeling that with her, you don't need to play a role. You can be yourself. You don't have to impress. You don't have to force things. Because this bond wasn't built by the world. It was woven in the invisible. And sometimes, Allah makes these people appear not because you are ready to love, but because you are ready to love precisely, with intention, with faith, with patience. And then you understand. You understand why some people have come and gone. You understand why some doors have never opened. Because Allah didn't want you to settle. He wanted you to experience a love that begins with a dua and manifests in a blessed encounter. So the next time you notice someone coming back into your life without explanation, don't rush. Don't get carried away either. Observe, reflect, and above all, remember your duas. Because what you're experiencing today may be the answer you asked for yesterday and forgot. 3. The istikhara doesn't disturb you, it gently confirms you. You reach that crossroads in your heart where emotion is no longer enough. You have prayed, you have reflected, you have observed, but despite everything, you feel the need for a clarity that only Allah can give. So you get up, you pray the 2 units of prayer, and in the stillness of the night or the silence of the day, you raise your hands and recite this ancient and powerful invocation. O Allah, if this is good for my religion, my present life, and my end, make it easy for me. This is the Salat al-Istikhara. And at that moment, you entrust your heart to the one who holds the secrets of the unseen. You are not looking for a spectacular miracle. You are not begging for a vision in your sleep or a voice from heaven. You ask for something deeper, Allah's guidance in what your heart cannot yet see. Then you continue with your life. You don't force anything. You don't overanalyze, but little by little you notice your heart stabilize. No anxiety, no turbulence, just a quiet tranquility, like a soft light deep within you. And this is where many go wrong. They think that istikhara means receiving a clear dream or an obvious revelation. But in reality, Allah's deepest answers aren't always loud. They come in the form of ease, serenity, or on the contrary, obstacles that suddenly become impossible to ignore. Do you want to move towards this person? You make istikhara, and suddenly things open up naturally. The discussions go well, families are receptive, fears are calmed, and above all, your heart no longer struggles. This isn't an uncontrollable passion, it's a divine calm. For when Allah directs you towards something good, He makes it accessible without agitating you. It's not the absence of difficulties, but the presence of inner calm despite the uncertainties. Perhaps you don't receive any dreams. And that's normal. Istikhara isn't an appeal to the imagination. It's an act of tawakkul. You place your decision in the hands of Allah and you move forward with faith, observing the subtle signs, a persistent peace, a direction that becomes clear, an absence of contradiction between this connection and your spirituality. And sometimes it is in opposition that Allah also responds. You make istikhara, and then everything becomes complicated. You feel restless. Obstacles arise for no reason. Barriers appear where none existed before, and your heart sinks. Do not resist this answer, because Allah, in His wisdom, protects you from an illusion. And sometimes Allah's no is a yes to something much greater. What you must understand is that istikhara does not guarantee a direction that pleases you immediately. It offers you guidance toward what is good for you, even if you only grasp it afterward. It is a trust placed in the unseen, not a tool of divination. And if, after this prayer, your heart remains peaceful, if the relationship doesn't turn you away from your faith, if your spiritual energy increases, if you feel more connected to Allah, more disciplined, more stable, then perhaps this is already the answer you've been looking for. Never underestimate the power of inner tranquility, because this peace doesn't come from you. It doesn't come from that person either. It comes from Allah. And that is the true sign, when the prayer you offer doesn't agitate you, but gently confirms you, when it doesn't bring emotional ecstasy, but spiritual stability. That is Allah's gift. A yes that doesn't shout, but reassures. A green light that doesn't explode, but gently lights up beneath your feet. So if you feel this way, move forward, in conscience, in faith, because Allah never guides a sincere heart to that which will destroy it. 4. They bring you closer to Allah without ever forcing you. There are people. When you spend time with them, your soul awakens. Not because they impress you outwardly, but because they awaken a light within you that you thought was extinguished. You don't just feel attracted, you feel a call. Not a call to them, but a call to Allah. They don't necessarily talk to you about religion all the time. They don't correct you for every misstep. but their simple presence, their way of being, their balance, naturally pushes you to want to be better. They never force you to pray, but you feel uncomfortable when you delay doing it. They don't constantly remind you to make dhikr, but you want to do it so that your heart becomes a little more like theirs. It's subtle, it's sweet, but it's powerful. And you understand that it's not them who have such an impact on you. It's Allah, through them. Because in a world where many lose themselves in loving what distances them from their essence, meeting someone who elevates you without manipulation, without pressure, without obligation, is a sign, a real one, because Allah loves you. And He sometimes places people in your path to awaken what is pure within you. People who want nothing from you, except for you to be at peace with your Creator. And that's what you must observe. Does this person push you away from your principles? Or does their mere presence make you want to return to yourself, to your prayer, to your modesty, to your sincerity? It's not in their words that we recognize blessed people. It's in the effect they have on your heart. An effect that doesn't resemble emotional dependence, but a spiritual reactivation. You begin to pay more attention to what you look at, to what you say, to how you hold yourself, not because you want to please them, but because, for the first time, you want to please Allah, sincerely. And you feel it. This isn't just a phase. It's not a passing enthusiasm. It's as if their presence in your life has rekindled a spiritual connection. That's halal love. That's a bond aligned with your fitrah. Healthy love in Islam is not disconnected from faith. It's not built on haram, empty promises, or secret encounters. It's built on a solid foundation, taqwa, awareness of Allah, respect for boundaries, the desire to grow. And you know, when someone truly loves you for the sake of Allah, they will never try to use you. They will never invite you to disobey the one who created you. On the contrary, they will ensure their protection, even if they lose you. Because they want you in this dunya, but they also want you in the akhirah. They know that love isn't possession, it's responsibility. And in this kind of bond, there are no games, no lies, no pressure. There is modesty, transparency, and above all, faith. So if you meet someone who brings you closer to Allah without forcing it, don't take it lightly. Don't think it's normal. Because today, in this world saturated with toxic relationships and emotional illusions, finding a connection that elevates your spirituality is a rarity. It's a mercy. And remember, Allah will never unite you with someone who turns you away from Him. And He will not allow you to cling to someone who chains you to sin. But He may send you someone who becomes a mirror for your soul, a living reminder, a springboard to Him. And you never truly lose that kind of connection. Even if the person moves away, the faith they rekindled in you remains. Because it wasn't about them, it was about Allah. And whatever He gives wisely. 5. Your heart is not in obsession, but in quiet certainty. You must learn to differentiate between what stirs your heart and what aligns it. You see, romantic obsession is noisy. It takes up all the space. It demands. It lays claim. It generates an emotional roller coaster. One moment you're euphoric, the next empty. But quiet certainty settles. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't devour your heart. It settles there. When Allah unites two souls in a spiritual purpose, it's not fire that consumes, it's light that guides. And that's exactly what you feel. You don't constantly think of this person as an emotional refuge. You don't cling to her to fill an inner void. You don't want her to escape loneliness. You recognize her as an extension of your invocation. There is an important nuance here. You don't feel a lack when she is absent. You feel peace when she is there. And this peace doesn't come from an unbalanced attachment. It comes from a spiritual alignment, because your heart, before belonging to a human being, belongs to Allah. And that is precisely why this person doesn't take up all the space. They don't eclipse your connection with your Creator. They don't distract you from your source. They accompany you on your journey without ever replacing your faith. Therein lies the beauty of a connection willed by Allah. It doesn't make you dependent. It makes you free, but connected. Free from illusions, but attached to what's essential. When it's aligned love, you don't feel the need to force things or run away. You don't overanalyze every word, every gesture. You're not afraid of losing, nor panicked about not being enough. You trust. The trust that Allah is in charge, that He has heard you, that He placed this person in your life for a reason beyond the visible. And this trust lifts an enormous weight from you. You don't need to run. You don't need to impress. You just have to stay sincere and walk in the direction life is showing you with fluidity. This type of relationship isn't measured by the intensity of emotions. It is measured by inner stability, by constancy, by the ability to remain aligned even when the other person is not there. You can focus on your projects, on your ibadah, on your personal development without being distracted. Because this relationship doesn't uproot you. It anchors you, and that is the divine signature. It's not a bond that scatters you. It's a bond that unites you. So if you experience this tranquility, this certainty without possessiveness, this deep calm without confusion, then know it's not an illusion of the nafs. It's perhaps a trace of rahmah, divine mercy, the one that Allah places in the hearts that invoke Him with sincerity. And always remember, the love that makes you forget Allah is a test, but the one who helps you find Him better is an answer. If your heart recognized itself in what you heard today, it's no coincidence. This isn't just another video, nor just another speech. Perhaps it's a confirmation, a light sent by Allah through words. Your soul isn't confused for no reason. It may be being guided. So don't take these signs lightly. Make istikhara, return to Allah, entrust your heart to Him. And if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to see it. For sometimes, a single reminder can change a destiny. Subscribe, activate the bell, and keep your heart open. For Allah speaks to sincere hearts, as long as you're ready to listen.